it means to survive. Through hard times we made it alive. No, I can't let go of my pride. My life's work is all of my pride.
We're a community organizing center in New York City for lesbian, gay, bi, trans, two-spirit, and gender non-conforming people of color. We got started in '94 after the death of Audre Lorde, and we're basically a place in New York City for LGBT folks of color to come together and address root issues of oppression. Why people of color? Well, one, because the Stonewall riots were started by folks of color. They were started by trans and gender non-conforming people of color way back when in the West Village, because those were the folks, and still are the folks, that experience police violence. That's where we find the most need, and I think that's also where we find the most resilience, is the intersection of racism and homophobia or transphobia is someone not being able to access housing and then going to like a welfare office and being asked to like come back to that welfare office when they're dressed like a man or dressed like a woman, you know? So like that's the intersection of that experience. It's like, I'm poor, I need to be on welfare, but then there's something wrong with my gender presentation. At that intersection, you know, it's like time on two crosses, right? You're getting the brunt of the racism and the brunt of the homophobia and transphobia and sexism. And so I think that ALP provides the space for us to think about the ways we can come together and find those solutions amongst ourselves. You know, Audre Lorde said it best, there's no such thing as a single issue struggle because we don't lead single issue lives. You know, a traditional pride, you think a lot about drinking and parades and, you know, nakedness, which is all fine and dandy. But I think that we want to kind of bring pride back to where it originated, and its roots were, you know, in a riot, in a desire for something better. I think the other thing is like, it's LGBT people of color pride, but it's also Bed-Stuy pride, right? Like, it's celebrating the neighborhood of Bed-Stuy. It's prioritizing Bed-Stuy businesses, right? Where I don't know that you see that in other prides.
I think this is a really important event as far as visibility goes. There's so much violence that happens in this neighborhood against all types of people of color, but specifically around queer people of color.
Where certain narratives say marriage is the thing, we're saying bathrooms are a thing.
Off and on, a lot of people of color are struggling with basic needs, so marriage or same-sex relationship on a legal level, that's the last thing they're thinking about. They're trying to put food on the table, they're trying to get services.
We have a right and sometimes even a duty to promote our own visibility.
Part of Bed-Stuy Pride is just lifting up this neighborhood and saying like, this is an incredible neighborhood, people are fabulous here, and people are doing a lot of work to keep it that way.